for all this wonderful training that you're doing for all of us. I just want to thank you again. I've never
You're
had the
welcome.
do so. So yeah, so I have a quick question in reference to if you can maybe give us some suggestions of reliable VAs, for instance, that you may maybe be willing to share with us. Because I realize there is quite a number of tasks that I work with an assistant that I could, delegate some of those tasks to. However, if there was some reference that you could share with us about good VAs that we can connect with for this task.
I'm in about 3 or 4 different Facebook groups that are virtual assistant groups. So you can find those, just type the word virtual assistant on that search bar and you'll find all different types of groups, and join a few of them and just get kind of the feel of the group, because sometimes there are groups that are made for finding virtual assistants, but sometimes there are groups that are made for virtual assistants that are working together to figure out how to navigate and get clients. So you just kind of have to get a feel for what the group is about. I actually found some good groups that have really good VAs. So I did find one of my VAs there, and then I did a Upwork job. I did a small Upwork job and chose, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 people to do the job for me. So they were all doing the same job. And the whole idea was I paid money to have those jobs done to find the right person. And I was really, really good. I found my first VA that way. I took the best one out of the 5 and hired that person, and I just pay her monthly, and I just throw stuff at her and she takes care of it for me. So what I do to manage them is I have a Google Doc that I use, and every single day when I have new things that I want them to do, I just speak my instructions into the Google Doc, and I delete anything that's not needed anymore, speak the new stuff to them, and they have a link to the Google Doc so they can jump in and get their instructions anytime they're ready. And then I just expect them, I'm not going to give them, like 52,000 hours of work per week, but I give them plenty to do. And they just knock it out. They just go in there, see what I need done, knock it out. If they have any questions, they'll add them to that Google Doc. So the next time I take a look, I'll see the questions, I'll answer them, and that's how we communicate. So it's a really, really simple way. I can't think of anything simpler, actually, than just me giving them instructions in the Google Doc. They take care of it. Questions go in the Google Doc. I answer them. So all we're doing is really looking at the Google Doc. And very, very rarely do I have to chase them down for anything. And then I've got a Google Drive share folder that I share with them. So if there's anything they're creating that's a file, like a Word document or a PowerPoint document or something like that, they just upload it straight to there, and I get everything I need there.
Okay, and just one last question, and I won't take much of your time. How did you find the learning curve to be? Because now that we have the VA assistant function within Builderall, how do you find VA's learning curve to kind of assimilate the platform and be able to deliver on the project? Let's say if there was a website design or any type of integration that needs to be done.
I think that's a really good question, because both of my VAs, and I've got 2 flies today loving on me, you guys. So if I do like this, I'm not waving at you. I'm trying to swat the flies. But, and I don't like flies loving on me. That's not cool. But the learning curve is actually a really good question, because both of my VAs are not native English speakers. They're great at writing. They have a really good writing skills, but speaking, not so much, right? So I can't get them to do videos for me, but I can get them to slowly but surely learn the Builderall platform. So they're good at creating the anchor pages. They're good at creating like really simple 3 or 4 page websites. They've already nailed that. The next thing we're going to nail with them is probably membership areas, because that's my big thing. I have like 52 bazillion projects that I want to put into membership areas. So as soon as they get that nailed, then that's probably the big thing that I'll have them do is membership areas. But it did take a while for them to learn, because my training is in English, and they were really struggling with it. But to me, in my opinion, they did way better than I ever would have if somebody was trying to teach me in some other language that I didn't know. So they were fabulous. And as long as you have patience with them, they'll do whatever it is that you need them to do.
Okay.
I've only had one VA that I had to let go. And it's because they just weren't producing like anything. So I just finally had to cut that person loose. But the two that I have now, I mean, they are Johnny on the spot. If I put something up there on that Google Doc, it's just a matter of maybe an hour. I will have it in the Google Drive. They're really, really, really good. And they're both spending a lot of time doing the building in Builderall and practicing. And they're actually really excited about Builderall. So I guess I really lucked out because I don't think most people find really good VAs their first shot.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Those are really good questions because VAs are the whole reason that I'm able to do everything that I do. I don't think I could get half of my stuff done if I didn't have VAs doing some of my content for me. I have a whole graphics team that I hired that does my graphics for me. So between those two things, I have just the perfect world where I can create content, I create graphics, and I can do my videos. And it looks like I'm 10 people doing all this stuff that I'm doing. It's really awesome. All right. Any other questions, you guys? Gabriel.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so since we're talking about VAs, I hope you don't mind me asking how much you're paying them per hour.
I pay both of them $400 per month.
Okay, so it's just 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really equate it to 8 hours a day. I just give them work and I expect the work to be done. So I may not give them anything for a couple days, so they get a couple of free days. And then I may give them in one day, I may slam them with stuff. But I guarantee you, if I give them stuff, they're on it. They're on it, on it, on it. They take care of me and do a great job.
So you're not tracking them on the time that they're just, hey, 400, get my stuff done, you know, right?
Yep, it's 400 and they're mine. That's what I say. I own you.
Do they work for you alone?
I'm sorry, what?
Do they work for you alone? Or yeah, you gotta have other clients?
Oh, I'm sure they have other clients. I'm sure they have other clients. And the good thing is that I think that I'm a priority because they love me. So anytime that I put a job out there, I just have never had to chase these two down. They're really, really good.
And how did you find them, Shelly? Because it sounds like you didn't go through a lot of turnover, right, to get them.
No, I've only lost one. Out of the 3 that I've tried out, I've only lost one. And that was just performance. She was not performing for me. So I just didn't hire her any longer. Right. So what I did was I went into Facebook groups and found Facebook groups that have VAs in there. And then I invited them to do a couple of jobs for me, and I would pay this amount for the job. And then I had like 5 people work on a job, and I paid all of them for doing that job. And I took the best one and hired them. Did the same thing on Upwork. I found VAs on Upwork and hired like 5 of them and paid everybody for that job, but I was paying to find the best one. And so I found the best one out of that group too. So I got one from Upwork and then one from Facebook group.
Did you, do you have to train them any, or they're already trained? How much time do you spend on showing them stuff or training them? Or
I didn't train them a whole lot as far as content. What we would do is, in the beginning it was hard because of course they're not native English. I think both of mine are from the Philippines. But they did a fantastic job of doing their absolute best. And then once they submitted the stuff and I looked at it, I would give them notes and I would say, hey, I want you to look at the document. I made some changes and this is the way that I needed this worded. And this is my style. And this is kind of the way I would say it. And both of those have been like, both of those VAs have been Shelly-ized. It's actually really funny. Because now if I have them go into Facebook and do some posting for me, it's funny because nobody can tell that it's actually not me, because they really do make it look and sound just like me. They're really fabulous. The training with Builderall was a little bit harder because I did the training videos and sent them the training videos. And so for them, they just had to go real slowly through them. but we've been doing it for about maybe 2 months now. So about 2 months to get them to a point where they can do really good anchor pages. They can do about 3 or 4 page web pages that are simple web pages. And then we're going to move on next to membership sites so that they can start building new membership sites. All of that to me is actually fabulous. So I don't overwork them. I just give them the jobs as I need them done. They absolutely understand that if I give them a job, I want it done as fast as they can get it. And they're good at getting it to me. My graphics team is the same way. And they all take good care of me. So I'm actually really, really lucky because I've heard kind of some horror stories about VAs, and I have not had any horror stories at all.
Do you tend to just give him 1, 2, 3, or 5 specific tasks, and you keep him in that genre where you don't jump around to, hey, now do this, so they keep on working on all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, content is basically what I have those two do for me. They're just now jumping into using Builderall, right? That's only been the last couple months, but they've been with me for quite a while, and their biggest task for me was creating articles for me so that I could have that social media explosion product done. So they actually did like 800 articles for me. And so I would give them the assignment. I want an article about this. I want an article about that. And I tell them the minimum word range has to be at least 500 words. And that's all I'd have to tell them. And they would get after it and do it.
So they're pretty much content-oriented content writers, or because their native language is not English, right? So how good are they? They're actually
really good. It was sketchy at first. So I had to work with them. I had to give them notes. This is how I would have changed that. This is how I would have worded it. So there was a little bit of teaching on my end to get them educated on how content needs to be structured. But I'd say it took me a good 3 months to just completely trust them with content. And to me, that's fabulous. And I've got 2 people that are ready to learn. So it wasn't hard. And again, I know I'm super lucky because VAs, I've just heard some really bad stories about VAs and how they botch things up, and their writing is horrible, and you spend more time editing than you do actually, creating the content, the product from the content they created. I just don't have that problem. They've done excellent for me, and I love them.
Yeah, great stuff. Thank you.
Shelly, were you allowing them into your Builderall account before you had the VA access?
Yes. Yeah, I've got 6 accounts. Actually, I've got way more than 6 accounts, but they've been playing in a couple of my 990 accounts, and they absolutely love it. They love it. They're really excited about building websites now. I'm like, don't forget about the content, you guys. I need you to work on content too. But they're really excited about learning how to build in Builderall.
Cool.
So speaking of the VA access right now, so what do you suggest going forward? Because I'm planning to, hire a lot of help here to work on different projects. Is it okay because I haven't tried it yet, so I'm not sure exactly how it works. Should we just give them access through the VA portal? So just give them access to this tool, and that tool? Or should we sign up on other accounts so that way they don't, and how much, if you only give them access to the tool, they don't have access to my contact information, correct? They don't see that. And then is that okay to just do it like that, or is it better to have my account, sign up another account, and then have my VAs work in this account and then send the stuff back to me? I mean, I don't know.
Here's what I've told my VAs, because I'm so proud of the work that they do. Right now they have 990 accounts. And I told them that once we get to the point where they're really good at building websites, I will pay for their $69.90 account plus their $50 per year affiliate upgrade if they want to have their very own account. I tell them they still have to work for me. They still work for me. They still get their $400 for the work that they do, but they can also have that account to do whatever they want with it.
I was thinking about that last week. I was like, man, I'm just thinking out too much here, and just
think about that a minute. if I give them that account, I'm an ambassador, so I'm getting like 60% of that back. So it's not that much of an investment for me, but they get to use it to create their own websites and do their own business beyond what they're doing for me. So it is actually really exciting for them, and they're super excited that they're getting paid to learn Builderall. They're learning Builderall, and then they're going to have their own account with the affiliate ability so they can build, and they benefit. And of course, anybody they bring in, I benefit.
So right now, the 990 is not available anymore, is it?
But I bought a bunch of them because I knew it was going away, so I just bought a bunch of them.
And the 2990 is the smallest, correct?
Right.
And how much access do they have in the 2990? Do they get all the tools or?
I think it's changed. So now they only get the email marketing up to 10,000 subscribers, I think, and then the website builders.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Good ideas. Thank you.
You're welcome. We need to have a whole training on VAs and how to organize them, really, because those of you guys that are working on building agencies, those VAs are going to be like super duper valuable. And I know I've got a ton of resources on how I organize them. You guys are kind of getting the shavings of the tip of the iceberg, but there's a lot that I can teach. So we'll mark that down in our brains as a potential boot camp, because that'll be fun. All right, let me see. Crystal says she's doing everything herself, and that's how I started out. Crystal, let me see if I can find Crystal. Crystal, that's how I started out. I was doing everything myself. I was doing all my content, all my graphics, and I suck at graphics. If you guys saw my initial graphics, you'd be like, "Yep, Shelly made that." So I did start out all myself, but when I started to make some money, I started to say, okay, this percentage of my money is going to be put aside so that I can do things like pay someone to do it for me. And that's part of the process I had was I earmarked some of my money to start paying for things like VA, paying for things like a graphics team. And I have a whole graphics team that works for me for $400 a month. And I get all the graphics that I want. All I got to do is submit to them and they submit it back to me. And I get edits, all the edits that I want. It's absolutely fabulous. So I get all the content I want. I get all the graphics that I want. The next thing I'm going to be hiring, and I'm actually already starting this process of looking for them, and that is I've got another $400 I've earmarked to pay for an editor so that when we are doing our content, I don't have to worry about editing anymore. I'll send it to an editor and they will edit. I have to have a lot more content to justify the $400, but I'm starting to look right now. So that will be the next person that I hire is actually an editor. And they probably won't be as busy as everybody else, but so I may not go the full $400 to pay them per month. I may start at maybe $200 because I don't have that much that I'm going to be sending to edit, but it's still on the radar and I'm starting to look. So that's really exciting. So that's the kind of the process I go through is I look across everything I need and what do I just not want to do? And I don't want to do the graphics because I'm not good at it. I don't want to do the content because I'm actually not really good at content. So I farm that out. And then the next thing I want to do is editing. And I'll send them the articles and stuff that my VAs write. Plus I'll have them edit my websites to make sure that my websites have good content. So that'll be what my editor does. Okay. Does that help? Yeah, it's exciting, right? It's exciting to think about yourself getting to that point where you can hire these people to help you. And I want you guys to think about this. I say I pay $400 for my graphics team. I paid 2 people that do my content $400 each. So that's $800. And then I'm looking at maybe $200 starting off for an editor. So what, not even $1,500? And I'm making way more than that in the things that I'm having them create for me. So it is absolutely fabulous. I'm getting much more money from them than if I actually tried to do it all myself and was busting my butt trying to do it all myself. Does that make sense?
That's a great point, Shelly. And what I wanted to ask you as well, and not to deviate from what the webinar is about, and on the same topic, is there a list of the skill set required to really have the must-have skill set to be able to have maybe a team of 4 or 5 within your agency that can now use Builderall and work in the collaboration. Because when I started with Builderall in the beginning, I was actually doing volunteering at a Christian academy. And the 12th grade students, when we have time, I was using 1 hour to teach them about digital marketing. So we're using the Builderall, and they were really excited about using the tool. They found it really exciting and easy to use. Unfortunately, it didn't continue too much because the academy ended up having some challenges financially. But the students between 10th grade and 12th grades were picking up local businesses in the community, like a plumber or a carpenter, and then we're analyzing the website and using it and replicating with Builderall. So yeah, that's a great idea if you have at least that skill set list of what is required to have a small agency, and then Builderall could be the foundation to use it. So if you want to share in the future.
A skill set is probably a really good thing to have a list for. I didn't really focus on a definite skill set for like my content people. The main thing was, could they write, and could they at least try to write in English? If they had those 2 things along with the motivation to get the job done, then I could get them where I needed them to be. Now, remember, it took me, I paid them $400 per month for about 3 months to get them there. That's another thing you have to think about. If you want someone better, you're going to have to pay more, right? But let me tell you, the relationship that you build when you bring a VA in and you pay them while you're teaching them to become better, it is fabulous. And both of my VAs, I've got a very good relationship with. And again, I think that's why when I put my stuff up and they see it on the Google Doc, they nail it. They knock it out. It's because we have a good relationship. And honestly, I actually think my stuff goes up to the top, even if they do have other clients. And it's just because I've built such a good relationship. They're more than just someone that's my content people. They're actually people that I know, that I've talked to, spent time with, and I've worked with to get them to the point where they're really good at content. And now I'm working with them to the point that they're going to be really good at Builderall. And I get to be a part of them being successful if they choose to use this Builderall to grow a business. So how exciting would that be for someone that maybe is only creating little articles here and there? Now they get hooked up with me, and they're doing articles, getting paid, and they're getting Builderall and the opportunity to use that as a money-making opportunity. So it's a win-win, right? So create your own win-win. That's what you need to do. Okay. Gabriel?
Yeah. Do you, as far as writing the articles, do you just give them the topic and write about this, or you give them the keywords, or that's a question? And second question is, do you use Script Generator to create any of these articles, or they write it from scratch?
They write them from scratch. And I literally, all I do is give them, like, today I want you to focus on writing something on mindset, and here's the topic. And it has to be at least 500 words. And that's all I give them. And they get after it. And I'm telling you, they have done some fabulous articles. And I'm stunned every time. And if you guys know me, you know that I actually ran them through the Turnitin stuff to make sure that it was not plagiarized. And nothing that they've done that I've ever tested was plagiarized. It's all brand new stuff that they wrote. They're really good at jumping on the internet, doing a little bit of research, putting it in their own words, and doing a fabulous job of doing it. So it's really exciting what they've been able to do for me. But again, I want to emphasize, you guys, they didn't come pre-packaged and good to go. I had to work with them. I did put about 3 months in with them to help them when they write an article and it was a crappy article. I didn't contact them back and say, man, this is crappy, I don't need you anymore. My philosophy was, okay, let's teach them how I want the article written. So I would give them instructions. I would actually, on the article, say, I would have worded it this way. You probably need to add a little bit more information here because it's not really clear. All of that takes work on your part, right? But in 3 months, I could start stepping back, and they were doing exactly what I wanted them to do. Does that make sense?
Right. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was excited hiring my VAs, and I was actually very, very nervous because I'd heard so many stories about VAs. But like I said, I'm for sure that I got really, really lucky with the actually 3, and I only had to let 1 go. And the one that I let go just wasn't doing anything, right? If I put the articles up, I'd not have anything in the Google Drive in a couple of days. There's no response on the Google Doc saying, I got this one, I'll have it to you by Friday, nothing like that. So with no contact, no information, no communication, to me, that was definitely one that I could let go. But the other 2, it's always when I post those up for them to see, they put on the Google Doc, I'll have it to you by Thursday, or I'll have it to you by Friday. And they're just really good at every time they give me a date, it's in by that date or earlier. So they're very good. Good. All right, great. All this is actually really good information too, guys, because as you start mastering this Facebook organic marketing thing, you're going to start farming some of this out to some of your VAs, which is what I do with some of my VAs. They actually, every once in a while, I'll have them jump in and do some organic marketing for me. If I'm just tied up or if I'm on vacation or something like that, they actually will continue the posting for me. And there's some neat ways that I've set up for them to get all of my Facebook pages. If you have a Google login and you are doing bookmarks for Google Chrome, you can actually give them the username and password for that Google Chrome login, and they can synchronize everything on your bookmark toolbar to their bookmark toolbar. So when I do the folders and I set them up so it's busy and shut down the microphone here. Here we go. So when I do those folders that have pending subscribe and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all of those are saved in my Google bookmark toolbar. When my VAs use my username and password, they can synchronize it with their Google and it will show up for them. So they have all of those links and they can take care of it for me while I'm on vacation. So they get everything that I have in my bookmark toolbar and they can take care of it just exactly as if I was there. So that's probably the number 1 tip with a VA is make sure that you're keeping those things on your bookmark toolbar, because your VA can synchronize those to their account and then they can have access to all of that. It's actually really cool.
Shelley, how do you keep, I've dealt with VAs in the past and I had some horrible experiences with some of them, dramatic with some, you know what I mean? When it comes to the work they've done and then they screwed up something big time or they wanted to quit for whatever reason. And then they went back and they damaged a lot of the work that they did. I had that experience twice.
Gabriel,
So talking about this, what you just said right now, if they synchronize, can go back and delete, they go, you know what I'm saying, right? How do you protect yourself?
Gabriel, Shelley, can I say something?
Yeah.
My 2 cents is what I would do is like what Shelley did is she took 5 people and she gave them the same job, and then she could see what their work was. She could see what their style was. She could see what kind of personality they had, and do that. I mean, if you have to do 10 people, you give them $25 or whatever to do whatever job it is, and you spend a little bit to invest to find somebody who's going to work for you.
Yep.
And like Shelley said, she went step by step and didn't assume that they were going to be perfect at the beginning. So just, make sure that the people that you're working with is somebody that you can work with that is not going to do that.
Yeah, and I was really lucky because I found 3, and out of the 3, 2 were excellent. I mean, excellent. And the one, just, I don't know if they were excellent or not. I never actually got to really see their work. So that was the one issue that I had. The challenge in the very beginning is to have the patience to work with them, because they need to learn you and you need to learn them. And to me, it's, I guess, again, I have to credit my 9th and 10th grade high school biology students. If I could get all of them, I taught 150 students per year for about 10 years. So if I could get all of those students in front of me, I would say thank you, thank you, thank you. Because even though I was teaching them, they were teaching me. And one of the things that I learned is that it didn't matter how nice I was, how adorable I was, how intelligent I was. They weren't going to listen to me on the first day because they didn't know me, and they were going to try to push the envelope to see what they could get away with. And that was a process that we had to go through for about 3 months. About 3 months into the school year is when they started to figure out, oh my gosh, Miss Turner's actually really cool. And then they'd start performing for me and doing the things that I needed them to do. And then I could say things like, you know, please sit down in your seat. And there wasn't a disruption in the class. They would sit down in their seat. So I took that approach with the VAs, right? I took that approach of they need to learn me and I need to learn them. So I'm giving it about 3 months. And that's what I did. I gave them jobs. I had to fix the things that they worked on in the beginning, but I always included them on when I was fixing it and why I was fixing it and how I was fixing it. And now they are very attuned to what I want in the products that I ask them to create for me. So to me, that's the biggest struggle, is finding out first if you have good stuff to work with. And then if you have good stuff to work with, then work with them and give them the time to actually do something wrong and then work to fix it. And if you've got somebody that's willing to work with you to make it better and fix it, you've got a gem, and those are the ones you want to keep. And like I said, I really lucked out. I hope they feel the same about me too. I hope they're saying, wow, we really lucked out when we got Shelly as the person that's paying us to do the work for. And I hope it's mutual because, like I said, they help me, but in return, I'm trying to help them. And that's by paying them and then actually offering this Builderall thing to them. So it is so exciting to have that relationship. And honestly, I don't put a lot of time into them right now because I'm so busy with what I do with Builderall that, again, I put the instructions in a Google sheet or a Google document, and they just get it from there and they go. And very, very rarely do I have to do a Zoom with them or anything like that to keep track of them now.
Great.
Good. Any other questions about that, you guys? Because again, if you're letting someone get into your Facebook group and you're letting someone have access to your Google bookmark toolbar, it is actually important that you trust this person. And they didn't get access to my Google toolbar like right away, right? We worked for a while together before I decided that it was okay for them to do that. They didn't get access to my Facebook group until I knew them and had worked with them for a while. And then, even then, there were some times when they did some posts, and I would send them a message, and I would copy the post, and I'd say, you did great on this, but this is not quite the way I would say it. And I probably end it with a little smiley winky face. And they actually learned my style of how I post on Facebook. So I would actually get tickled to see you guys try to figure out if it was actually me or one of my 2 VAs were posting. They're really good. But you have to work with them to get to that trust level. And that was not in the beginning. That was not after the first 3 months. I had them work with me for at least another, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 months. And then I decided it was time to let them start working on Facebook for me. And I've had these 2 now for, I guess about a year, maybe a little over a year. Okay. Any other questions about VAs or ideas about how to handle them? Dominic says he'll work for food. Charles.
A lot of the VAs, eventually some of the ones that I've interacted with were entirely for the website design, and they'd be able to pass on that kind of work to them. So I realized a lot of them use WordPress. So when I heard that there will be that WordPress integrations, when I was talking to one of my VA, in fact, was quite excited about it. Because they really are so accustomed to using the WordPress application, right? Platform. So, but once they looked at Builderall, you know, eventually they fell back into that comfort zone. Oh, well, you know, we want to make sure we don't. So the fact that it's going to be WordPress going to be coming into the platform, at least allowing WordPress application, that's great. That's a good plus there.
I think it's great, but I think I'm just going to warn you now, there's no support there. It's at your own risk. And with the experience that I've had with WordPress, if you've got VAs on there, and we have plugins that go down because there's an update and there's a conflict in one of the plugins, and you have to figure out how to get back into the back area because you can't go in through the admin panel. We don't have that support. That's not going to be there. So you're going to have VAs that are very resourceful and knowledgeable, and they can take that up and do it on their own. My guess is that if you find that type of VA, you're going to pay a premium amount for that one.
I've used WordPress before, and where my website was docked on a site where it was on WordPress, and they basically taught you how to do the plugins for the. But you know, it's so complicated. It's so. And as you said, they do updates periodically, and then you got to go back and you got to make sure it's still working right. And it's not worth it. It really is.
It is worth it if that's what you're working in, right? If that's what you know, that's what you love, that's what you build in, it's worth it. But when we talk about the Builderall WordPress, you just have to put that in the back of your brain that there's absolutely no support. So if you've got VAs working and they run into a problem, who are they going to come to? It's going to be you. So you have no way of getting support for it. So that puts you in a position of either having a VA that is knowledgeable and you pay for that knowledge, or keeping someone that maybe isn't on a paid retainer, but they are available at a premium rate to do troubleshooting if something happens. Right? So all those things are things you definitely need to think about if you're going to have VAs working in the Builderall WordPress.
As you know, I'm on Quora and I answer questions. I answered one on online marketing. I think I've gotten 5 upvotes on my answer.
Good. And I was just going to ask, Davida, your homework last night was to do 10 pages and 10 groups. So I want to hear, and actually somebody jumped in and told me a little while ago how excited they were about the results they've had already, but I don't think I see them here. So they're probably going to watch on the replay. But did you guys do your homework, and what kind of results did you have?
Nothing so far. Well, I went into some coaching groups, and what I actually did was ask them a question about where do they dock their webinars.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
So
anybody else? Anybody else that did their homework, and did they have any results? Okay, let's do it this way. Did anybody do their homework? Crystal, yay, yay, and Charles, yay, that's great. So of the ones that did homework, can you tell me what kind of results are you having? Are you getting engagement? Are you getting responses? Or are you still in that phase where you're really waiting for pendings to come through as approved?
I have a couple, actually connected with 5 groups. It took me a long time to come up with the groups because I was overthinking it, right? Mm-hmm. So I ended up connecting with local business groups.
Oh, good.
And so I'm waiting for, it's still pending. I can't wait for them to accept me. And my strategy is as soon as they accept me, I'm going to connect with the admins and kind of tell them, hey, listen, thank you for allowing me to join the group. I want to bring value, and if there's anything I can help, let me know. I'm here to support the community. So from that point, and then I can now start engaging with the group and see what's going on. So I'm still waiting for that. Fabulous.
You're on your way, Charles. You're on your way. I can't wait till I get the message from you that says, oh my gosh, Shelly, I have like so much engagement, I can't keep up. Crystal, what kind of results have you had so far?
Well, I just kind of, I things that were in my interest group. I like to songwrite. I like to write. I also did some like small business groups and some entrepreneurship groups and that kind of thing. I've gotten some engagement, like I've started conversations within those groups, but nothing, I haven't really name dropped Builderall or really gotten that far yet.
And
So
you don't have to do that yet. That's fabulous. That's part of this training. Is it's not all about like running into the groups and saying Builderall, Builderall, Builderall. It's about you starting to be seen and heard and becoming an authority in that group. So then when the opportunity arises to drop Builderall, everybody's listening. They're like, oh, Crystal just made a post. Ah, she's saying something about this Builderall thing. She's pretty smart. I'm going to check it out. Right?
Right.
Good job. Shawana, did you want to add to that? I think I saw you do this thing here.
Yeah, I did the homework, but I haven't received any feedback yet. And I'm still waiting on, I think, about 8 of them too that are still pending.
Okay, good. That's good. That's you're on your way. It's just a matter of time. I'm going to take a look at this message. So I'm going to just share with you guys. Hopefully they won't get mad that I'm sharing the message. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it here. It was, I can't remember who it was, but they were telling me that they already had like 300 engagements on what they did just from the homework from yesterday. And they were getting so much engagement and they were so excited. And I can't remember what she asked me, but she told me about the engagement. And then she asked me a question because she was getting so much engagement. It was like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And I was like, so excited. I was like, yay, you're in the zone. Just keep doing it and keep engaging and keep participating and get your name out there so that they can actually see you. They can hear you. They can get to know you. And guess what, you guys? It is like okay to be yourself. If you're witty, then be witty. If you're dorky, then be dorky. I'm like dorky in all of my groups because I'm a dork. I'm just kind of a dork. I'm a sciencey, geeky, kind of computer nerd loving dork. And that's what I do in all those groups. I don't try to be anybody else. And I have fun. And the minute that I'm not having fun anymore, I'll just jump out of that group and jump into another group. It doesn't bother me. And I'll engage and I'll be the computer geeky nerd dork that I am. And that resonates sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. But when it resonates, my name goes high on the list really fast, right? I mean, just imagine if you've got a group, right? And somebody like me jumps in there and says, hey, you guys, did you know that it's National Sea Monkey Day?
Shelley, what? So when I was looking at groups to join, it seemed that so many of those groups, they only are posting versus having other people post. Because that doesn't make sense for me to join one of those groups. Is that?
It makes it a little bit harder, but it's still not impossible because I'm in some of those groups too. And I just make sure that I post on their posts. I comment on their posts. And I always try to add value to whatever they're posting. It is harder to get yourself seen and heard, but you can do it. You absolutely can do it. And then there's opportunities during those posts where somewhere you can post in there, oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't believe that I was able to solve that problem with one of the tools in the company that I'm working for now, or in the company that I'm working with now. So you just drop those little things like that because it fits, not because you're forcing it, because it fits. And then you'll get people to ask, oh, Bonnie, what company are you working with that you solved that problem? Right? So that gives you the opportunity to share.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So that's not impossible to do it. It just makes it a little bit harder. But I am a member of a lot of those groups as well. I'm sure I'm in probably about 200 groups. I'm going to give you another group to jump into that is going to stun you. And that is, have you guys ever thought about joining the buy-sell groups? Have you seen those? Yeah. Where they're selling like whatnots, like a garage sale type group. Have you ever seen those? Yeah.
Like
those
a what?
are great. Like a garage sale group.
Okay. Oh, like you were doing those ones.
I'm still doing them. They're fabulous. Every once in a while, this is occasionally, this is not every day, this is not once a week, this is once every month or two. You jump into that group as long as it's allowed. Make sure you read the what's allowed and what's not allowed. But if you're allowed, post something in there about maybe doing a live webinar about something and you invite everybody there, about doing a training and they're invited, something like that. So you can share information directly about Builderall, right? Not necessarily put your link in there, but send them to maybe a live webinar you're doing or a training that you're doing or something like that. And then you can actually share that thing called Builderall. And you don't have to work up that group for them to know you, because it's a buy-sell group. And as long as you're allowed to post things like that, and there's some that you'll join that they'll say, you know, no direct sales, no affiliate sales, no blah, 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 no wholesaling, stuff like that. So just read their stuff. But 99% of those groups that I'm in have no rules against posting something like you're doing a training on the internet, on a webinar, and if you're interested, jump on in. I did a live training on how to do email marketing. If you're interested in that, I'd love to have you join and check it out. It's actually really easy, but you don't want to do that a lot, because these are people that are there that are wanting to buy beds, used cars, sofas, love seats, stuff like that. So if you're putting a ton of stuff in there that's like, go to my webinar, go to my webinar, go to my webinar, you're probably going to get booted because it's just too much, right? So every once in a while. Plus, you want to make sure that you're hitting hard your local area. So every single buy-sell group that's in my area, I'm in, and I advertise. So I live in Panola County, so I'm in every Panola County buy-sell group. I live in Batesville, Mississippi, so I'm in every single Batesville, Mississippi buy-sell group. I live in Northern Mississippi, so I'm in every single Northern Mississippi buy-sell group. I'm really close to Memphis, so I actually am in every single Memphis buy-sell group. And so occasionally I actually post in there about webinars that I'm doing. When we did the launch, I posted my link to the webinars in there with an image showing the webinar and what it was about. So you can do this. You just have to be frugal with the way you do it, because it's a buy-sell group. So you don't want to overuse that ability to share that, because then the owners of the groups will jump in and go, no advertising anything that's not a secondhand item, right? So you can absolutely do that. So to me, that is the mother lode, because that is an underrepresented group. There's a lot of people in there. They're looking for a deal. They're looking for something that might speak to them if they're offered something like Builderall. So it's a very underrepresented group as far as places we can tap for getting leads. Okay, everybody got it? Okay, so now let's talk about what you can do when you're creating your own stuff in Facebook, right? We've talked about other people's pages, other people's groups, engaging with them, and then trying to get your name up on the list of well-known, and everybody knows about you, and you're the expert, and as long as you stay engaged, you can slide something in about what you do with Builderall. So all that's fabulous. But now let's talk about your groups, what you can make, what you can do, how you can kind of tackle this, this thing that you can create your own pages and groups. What do you do? So you can actually create as many pages as you want. You can create as many groups as you want. So it's hard sometimes to get groups to grow, right? And it's hard to get pages to get likes. All of that's hard to do. So let's first talk about building the page. A page is like super simple to build. And I think we talked about either Monday or Tuesday that a business page and a fan page and a whatever page, they're all the same thing. They're just pages. And they're just pages that have different requirements to fill out when you're setting them up. But anybody can create any number of pages. And the way you're going to get likes and the way you're going to get engagement is to make sure you're using keywords that you're wanting to target, right? That is the trick. That is the trick of the trade. Keywords in the name of the group. So if you're trying to target stay-at-home moms, then your page should be a name that has something like stay-at-home moms. So you might have a page that's stay-at-home moms of Mississippi, stay-at-home moms of Panola County, stay-at-home moms of Batesville. So whatever you want to name it, but you're going to get that stay-at-home moms thing so that when somebody does a search, they're going to find that page. It's the exact same thing with groups. If you're looking to target a specific niche to hit them on Facebook about Builderall, then that group needs to have that name. So if I've just got the name Delta One, am I going to find that if I'm looking for entrepreneur opportunities? Probably not, right? So if I'm looking for entrepreneurs, then I'm going to have entrepreneurs somewhere in the name of the group. So I might have Delta Entrepreneurs, Mississippi Entrepreneurs, Mississippi Business Owners, Mississippi Stay-at-Home Moms. You can have any of those, right? And so you're targeting that niche by using those keywords in the name of the page or in the name of the group, right? Then another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure, especially when you own a page, that you are actually engaging in some groups as the page. Not a lot, because you don't want to do it a lot because then you're seen as spammy smarmy. But you can post in other groups as a page, and that will get people to follow to that page, and then they can find out about you and then like or even share the page. Okay, so do that occasionally, not a lot. Also, make sure that if you find a really good post somewhere of somebody else's page, share it to your page. They love that. And they're going to want to see where you're posting at. So share posts if you find a really good post. If you find a really good quote, don't just copy the image and then put it on your own page. Share it, because you're giving them some props. And what's going to happen is the people that are on their page will actually see that the post was shared, because they can see that it was shared like 2 times or 4 times or whatever, and they can click to see actually who shared it. And then the owner can actually follow and see who is this person that's sharing. So it's actually a really cool way to get some cross traffic, right? So that's another really neat way. Also, you want to make sure that if you have multiple pages and multiple groups, that you actually favorite those. So if I have group number 1, and then I have a group 2, 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to favorite group 2, 3, and 4, and 5 in my group 1, right? And then in group 2, I'm going to favorite group 1 and group 3, 4, and 5. That way I'm going to be creating cross traffic in my own groups. Okay. Another really cool thing is that there's a feature on Facebook pages. If you've got multiple Facebook pages, you can do a live in one group and have it sent to, in one page, and have it sent to all of your other pages automatically. That one's really cool. That's another feature in Facebook. It's not very old, and it's pretty easy to do. So you just have to set it up in the settings. Okay, so that's another really cool thing, is you can do one live video and have it synced across multiple pages. That's really cool. And then, of course, we need to talk about the Facebook auto answer and the Facebook auto post that we have in Builderall. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick, and we're going to take a look at that. So I'm going to go to my virtual office, and I don't think I have them added. So I'm going to go to customize. And we'll see if we can find Facebook auto post and auto answer. There's auto post. And I'll add. And then I think the auto answer is in the chat bot. So we'll take a look and see if that's there. So I'm going to go to the dashboard. And we'll look at auto answer first because that's actually one of my favorites. So I need to go to the chat bot to do that. So there's the Facebook chat bot. I'm going to click on that and then click enter. And here's the area that says post to answer. That's the one that we're talking about right now. So in the Facebook chat bot, the first thing I need to do is make sure that I've added my pages. So right here, let me see who I'm in right here. Okay, I'm in as me. So I've got several pages that I've got added here. If I want to add a new page, I just click add new page and I can add a new page to this list. And that way, this chatbot functionality is connected to my page. I can only connect to pages in here, not groups. So this is specifically for pages, okay? And then the next thing I'm going to do is post to answer. And right here, it tells me all the different posts that I have. And let's take a look at, I'm going to import a new page. And let's see, follow this link to see already added pages. Great. And I'm going to do member bites. If you have pages that are connected and they don't actually update, just click this refresh. And typically it does a refresh and reconnects everything. So I'll go to post to answer. And of course, it's still not showing. Let's look at member bites. So there's the member bites Facebook page. And I'm going to and enable auto answer on your post. All right, so let me think about how this is going because it's not working the way I used to remember it. Oh, here we go. Facebook post. So right here, member bites, view posts. So here's all the posts that are on member bites, right? So I've got a bunch of posts on there. So I'm going to do a really quick post because I can. So let me go to YouTube. And I'm going to go to Builderall Master Training. There I am right there. And I'm just going to get the link to this new video that I put up. I think either yesterday or today. My days are running together. But it's about the magazine app and how cool it is. So I'm just going to get the link right there and copy it. And now I'm going to go back to Facebook to my Member Bites page. And I'm going to post a new post. So have you ever thought of creating your own magazine? If you have, what would it be about? There we go. And I've got the YouTube channel and it's pulled in the YouTube channel, right? So it's a really, really simple post. You guys saw how fast I thought about this in my head, right? I just went to go get the video. I asked a question because the key to this part is to get engagement. You want your people to be engaged. So I asked, if you have thought about creating your own magazine, what would it be about? So somewhere, somebody's going to see this post and they're going to say, oh, I'd write a magazine about dogs, right? All right, so let's go ahead and post this bad boy. Share now. So it is now, it should be active on my page. There it is right there. And now I'm going to set up an auto answer. This is like the coolest thing ever. So let me see if I can refresh this page. So I'm going to go to pages and wait for my pages to load and then view posts. And there's my post. That's the brand new one that I just did. So I'm going to select this post for an auto answer. So when I click that, now I get to decide if someone makes a post on this, what do I want to private message them in Messenger, right? What's going to happen is if somebody posts on this, Messenger is going to pop up with a message from me. Okay, so let me go ahead and just type something in real fast. And I'm going to just use their first name. So I'm going to put the tag in there. And I'm going to say, hey, first name. I was so excited to see Jackie's first magazine. I am sure you have an incredible talent that could not only go in a magazine, but be monetized. you could actually do that with Builderall. If you are interested, follow this link to get a 7-day free trial and start working on your magazine today. And then http www, actually I'm going to go 7daysfree.builderallguru.com. So that's my 7-day free trial link. So let me read it back to you since I just kind of did it slowly. Hey, first name. I was so excited to see Jackie's first magazine. I'm sure you have an incredible talent that could not only go in a magazine, but be monetized. You could actually do that with Builderall. If you're interested, follow this link to get a 7-day free trial and start working on your magazine today. And then I've got my 7-day free trial there. Okay. So then I've got some things that I can set here. The first one is, do you want a delay in Messenger popping up? So if they answer, how fast do you want that pop-up to appear? I don't want any delay. I want it to whoop, pop right up. So I'm okay with that being no. Then it says, do you want to answer on the second level comments? That means on my post, if Bonnie has a comment and then Charles has a comment on Bonnie's comment, do I want to have a messenger pop up for Charles? No, I don't want my second levels to have a pop up, just my first levels, because they're the ones that are actually responding to the question. So I'm going to leave that unchecked. And then, do I want to answer only once? Meaning, let's say Bonnie decides she wants to post again on that because she was so excited. She's like, oh my gosh, I would do a dog magazine. And then she says, oh my gosh, I would also do a so-and-so magazine. We don't want her to get that pop up twice. So for me, I would definitely check mark this one so that she only gets the pop up for Messenger one time. Okay. And then you can actually click save. And that saves everything in there. You can also add more rules. If you click there, you've got the opportunity to create a few more rules in there. I rarely put any more rules on it. These are the standard rules that I stick with, and they work so extremely well that I'm very happy with them. But I did a save, so everything is saved on there. You've also got the ability to use a condition. So if I check mark that, I could say that if the user's comments consists, does not consist, equals, does not equal. And then I can put a phrase in here. And if their answer had something in there that qualified for this condition, then that messenger would pop up. That's just too much work for me. I don't care what they message actually. What I'm caring about is just to make sure that they get this message so they can follow that 7-day free trial. So I never put a condition on there because I don't want to put a condition on there, okay? The only time that I would put a condition is like if you were asking a very specific question, what's your favorite color? And for some reason, if they typed in the color blue, that's the one that you want them to answer to send them specific information about something, right? So that was the condition that you would look for. So if they typed yellow, they wouldn't get it. If they typed brown, they wouldn't get it. The only qualifier would be blue. And to me, that's too narrowing. I want my message to pop up. If they engage, I want them to get my message. So that's the way I have this one set. So everything is saved. And now I should actually be able to go to this post and I should be able to post on it, to comment on it. And I should actually get a message from Messenger. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to actually go into the chat here on Zoom. And I'm going to add this in, this link. Hang on just a second. Let me go to chat. So here's the link. If you guys want to go to that website, that Facebook page, and find that post, that exact post, and you can make any comment you want. It doesn't matter. You can say, Shelly is awesome. Shelly is beautiful. Shelly's a genius. Whatever you feel like typing in, it's okay. And I want you to see exactly what happens. And then I'm going to do it from my end so you can see what happens as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my web page as a visitor, because right now I'm looking at it as the owner. So I'm going to go to these 3 dots and I'm going to go to view page as a visitor. And when I do that, I have the ability to go ahead and post to that post. So there we go. I'm viewing as a visitor. There's that post right there. I'm going to comment, and I'm going to say, I would love to do a magazine about underwater basket weaving. There we go. So now that I've done that, and let me move this out of the way so you guys can see it. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and we'll see what happens. So I've got enter, and hopefully we'll get some results. There we go. So now Member Bytes has popped up, and there's the exact message that I typed in. So it says, hey, Shelly, and then it says everything I typed in, and then it's got that fully qualified domain name, which means you've got the http://, and then the domain name. So it's a clickable link, and they can click on that and go straight there and sign up. Okay, that is what the auto post or auto answer does. Did anybody else try it? Did you guys try it? Anybody? Raise your hand if you tried it. Did you try it? Did you try to go there? Yeah, Shawana, did you get it? Nope, not yet. Jennifer, John, did you guys get it? Yay.
It's taken a long time to load for me.
Is your computer normally slow, or is it just weirdly slow?
Yeah, it's slow.
Oh, okay. Okay, that might be it then. And you may have to check your messenger like later to be able to get it if it takes that long.
It took 5 seconds actually.
Yeah, it took me, you guys saw, it took about 5 or 6 seconds for me. Yep. But it is such a fabulous way to really create some engagement with your people that are on your own Facebook page. And these are the types of posts that you definitely want to post. But here's the cycle that needs to happen.
She's frozen again.
The post to pop up. Oh, sorry.
There you
Am I
are.
back? Okay, yay. So it's really important to go in this order, okay? When you're doing this, you have to have your Facebook page open so that when you add that post, you also have the Facebook auto answer open so you can go right in and actually create the auto answer right away. Because if you wait too long, you'll get a bunch of engagement, and then by the time you add the auto answer, it'll be too late. So this is one you have to plan, right? If you're going to do a Facebook auto answer, you need to plan it. And you need to say, okay, I'm going to do a Facebook auto answer, open up Facebook page, open up auto answer. Okay, I'm ready to go. All right. That way you'll definitely get the ones that comment, and they will get that pop up. Tyree?
Hey, hello everyone, and Miss Awesome. I just did it, and it came up. I had to wait a few seconds, but it came up.
Good.
And, yeah, so if I was new, I would really be interested in finding out more about the 7-day free trial.
That's right. I totally agree. And think about it in exact terms like what you just said. If that bad boy popped up and I gave you just a little bitty bit of information about that magazine app, and then said, hey, you can actually try it for free here for 7 days. Just go to this link. You got to leave. You got to leave. Right? Is that exciting, you guys? Yes. Gabriel?
So, so this auto answer, it only works for this particular post that you just posted,
Yes.
correct?
That's correct.
Not for my post from yesterday or whatever I'm going to do tomorrow. So
Correct.
in other words, I have to open up the Facebook, do a post, create the answer. So for every post that I'm doing, I could do the same thing, right? On and on and on.
You absolutely could, yeah. And I would break it up so that maybe I'm doing auto answer posts once a week. You don't want to do that every time because that would get old, right? People would stop commenting on your posts because they're like, I'm not going to comment because Messenger's fixing to pop up and they're going to try to sell me Builderall again. So do it occasionally, and definitely don't do it on every single post, and use it frugally because to me, it's a powerful tool. And with great power comes great responsibility. We all know that from Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, Shelley, do you keep track of which groups you use the auto post on, or auto answer, whatever it's called? Do you keep track of that so that you don't like do it like 3 times on one and do it on different ones?
No, I'll only do it on new posts. So that's a guaranteed. I won't ever put it on an old post. And then you can actually go in and see when people respond. Let me show you what happens in notifications. So I'm going to go back to being the owner of this group. So I'm going to go back and back here. So switch back to my view. So now I'm going to refresh the page because it usually takes a refresh. But once I refresh, what I have is, I think it's under notifications. You can actually see everybody that's posted. So see right here, they commented on the link that I shared. Shawana Stout likes member bites. So this right here, I can see everybody that commented, right? And here's the other cool thing is Crystal made a comment. So she said, I would love to make my own magazine. And I can click see response and I can actually see how I responded to her. So this was the message that she got. Okay, so you can actually see that right on your page. All right. So you can actually see how much engagement you're getting when you do that. Let me give you a warning though. Facebook does not like you forcing engagement, right? So they don't like you saying something like, which color do you like best, blue or red? Because that's kind of forcing engagement. You're saying, pick one and type it in. And Facebook will actually ding you so that your feed, your stuff in your Facebook page won't show on feeds as much. So you have to go a long way around. And this particular post is really good because if they looked at it, you're asking a very valid question. If you had a magazine, what would your magazine be about? So it's actually a very engaging question without being a forced engagement question. So you have to be really careful about that. That's a new thing that Facebook has started like in the beginning of the year. And they're watching for those forced engagement posts. And if they find those, and those are triggered by, you know, if you say, which one do you like, blue or green? And people are answering only blue or only green, Facebook can see that. And they're saying, this guy's doing forced engagement. So we're going to ding him on being able to be seen in the desktop feeds. Okay. So be thinking carefully about how you want to word this to get engagement so that it's not like an either or, it's an open, engaging, thought-provoking question so that you are valid in the eyes of Facebook. Okay? Everybody got that? Okay, just wanted to give you that warning because I don't want anybody dinged and not showing up on feeds because you've asked just the binary question. I actually used to teach, do the binary question. Ask a yes or a no, or a blue or red. Do you like the blue M&M or the green M&M? Do you like the right side of the Kit Kat or the left side of the Kit Kat, right? Do you like the orange Skittle or the yellow Skittle, right? Those are binary questions, so there's only 2 possible answers. So you can't do that anymore on Facebook. They're going to ding you if you do that. Okay? All right, so you know that. And now let's talk about groups and what you can do in groups, especially to create engagement. Now, one of the things that you can do when you're creating your own group is you can actually do like little engaging posts like, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite cereal? What's your favorite Skittles color? If you're doing strictly on business, then what's your favorite, I don't know, philosophy on how to collect new leads, right? That will be thought-provoking. People will really have fun answering that one. So you're always asking questions in the group. You're always present in the group. If you're not present in the group, they're not staying and they're not engaging. They're just not gonna. Another really good thing to do in a group, which I'm guilty of not doing enough, and that is welcoming the new members. So as you get new members, you're going to welcome them in your group, and it's easy peasy because on your membership list where you see the members, it shows what date they joined. So just every single day, do everybody up to that day, and then welcome them. And then the next day, do the next day. Actually, probably the better idea would be do it in the morning and do everybody from the previous day, so that you're always catching everybody, even the ones that are late in the day. And that way, I don't know about you guys, but when I get that welcome to the group, even if there's 52 people listed on new members, if my name is on there, I'm like, oh yay, I'm welcome in the group. It's just a nice thing to do. It's a little bitty touch of niceness that makes them happy that you're a part of their group, right? And then occasionally, if they're posting, then you want to tag them and say, hey, that was a great post. You are contributing to this group, and we're really excited about the value that you're giving. What would you guys do if you got a post like that? What would you do? Tyree?
I know for me, that would make me want to post even more.
Yep, you are exactly right.
Yeah, and then it would also make me comment more. It would also make me comment on more. It would make me become more active. Say it like
that. Right. That little bitty thing, that doesn't even sound like much, right? But that little bitty thing encourages the person that you have told them that they are contributing value. So they interpret that as, I am valuable to this group. And so you have just basically given them permission to share more value. I mean, who doesn't benefit from that? Right? So you want to encourage your people in your group to post, right? By calling them out by name. And again, they're in your group doing the same thing that you're doing in their groups. You're trying to position yourself to be seen, for people to know you, to see you as the expert. If you're starting to help them do that in your group, then you're going to get incredible engagement, right? So it is an amazing tool. It's like I think it's almost like psychology, right? If you tell people they're valuable, and their post is valuable, they're like, man, I got 52 more posts ready to go. Let's do this. And all of a sudden you do that to 2 or 3 or 4 people. It's massive what you get happening in your group. Okay. So you want to stay active in your groups, and you want to stay really building up people that are participating in your group. You want to welcome your people to your group. All of those are important things, along with asking questions all the time in your group. Okay. Any other questions about groups?
I have a quick question here.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's, about group as well. How do you see, eventually once you join a group, you get that waiting period to be accepted. Mm-hmm. But once you join the group, how do you see, how do you value the admin, in your strategy? Because I understand that the admin is there to kick people out, in and out if they want to. But have you thought, maybe it's a little bit too early for you to, spill that bean here, but if you want to share with the group, if you have any idea of how you could put a strategy where you could really build a relationship with the admin, and then put a strategy where they can monetize the strategy together, like, kind of scratch my back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great question, because there are so many opportunities to work with admins to do a couple of things. The first one is, if they own the group, there's a Facebook cover image, and a lot of times they'll rent that out, but they won't rent it to you if they really don't know you. So immediately when you get approved for someone else's group, when they do that welcome message for you, you do a separate message that calls out every one of the admins of that group, and you can find them on the member list, and you can say, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, thank you so much for inviting me to the group. I'm so excited. This is going to be great. I can't wait to learn and build and grow with everybody here. So you're already calling them out, right? And then any of the admins, you could actually just tag them when you're making posts. You definitely want to pay attention to who the admins are, so that when they jump in and do a comment or a post, you can say, hey, that was a great idea, or hey, that was a great post. You want to be seen and heard by them as well. So it's not uncommon to tag an admin and say something nice about the admin. Even if you've been in the group for a while and you're getting some good value, tag them and say, oh my gosh, I've been in this group for a month and it has just given me so much great information to work with. Again, that one post is going to raise you up to those admins, because how many times have you seen that? Right? So there are ways to definitely have a strategy to get in there with the admins and for them to know your name. And then when it's time for you to make that decision of contacting them and maybe wanting some space on the Facebook cover, or maybe wanting more information about some of the companies and products that they're into. And again, if you ask that information and they share, that's a good reason for you to share as well, right? So there's just ways to do it that I think are very creative, and they're not shady. Don't be shady, right? Be authentic. If you're contacting the admins, it's because you really want to know what they're doing. Okay. Tyree?
I'm assuming, I just had a question. I know that we're talking about joining other people's groups, but just saying we're setting our own group. And I know that you would like to use the keywords in the description of the group. Would you along with the keywords, target your area? And say, for instance, I'm in Houston, digital marketers in Houston, Texas, or would you just say digital marketers on Facebook? Which would you?
I do both.
Both, okay.
Yeah, I do both. Let me show you some of the groups that I have, you guys. I have, let's see, Panola County. This is one of the ad sell groups that I have, or sorry, buy sell groups that I have is Panola County Virtual Yard Sale. This is one that consists almost exclusively of people in Panola County. So these are people that are all around me. And I have, let me see if I can see how many people I have. Well, I have 33 that want to join. I'm going to go ahead and approve all of them, confirm. And let's see how many we have. Members. I have 1,817 members in this group alone, and they're all in Panola County. So there's very little that I have to do. I moderate the group, and right now there is one member that's reported. They showed a live video, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it because these live videos get crazy sometimes. And so there's very little that I actually have to do to manage this group, but this is a buy-sell group that I created, and occasionally I will put in there something about Builderall. So when I do, that goes out to 1,817 people in Panola County that are right there by me, right? Oh, and I just cha-ching, yay me. Maybe that was one of my Panola people. But that's how that works, you guys, is have several buy-sell groups according to your area. So have one for your city, have one for your state, have one for your area, have one for your county. You can have as many of those as you want, and then people will find them. You don't have to worry about advertising them. I have not advertised the Panola County Virtual Yard Sale one iota. I didn't go into other groups and say, will you join the Panola County Virtual Yard Sale? Nope, not one time. They find it, they ask to join, and I just approve. And very, very little have I ever declined anyone. In fact, I don't think I've ever declined anyone. Every once in a while, I have to boot someone. That's part of managing the group. And I've had to boot a couple people because they're dishonest and they're like trying to sell like puppies or something. And so they'll say, if you put a $200 deposit down, the puppy will be ready in 4 weeks. And then of course, in 4 weeks, the puppy's not ready. They don't even have any puppies. So that person just lost $200. So when I get reports like that, then I have to boot that person from the group. I've actually been contacted by the Batesville Police Department about certain people that are the scammers, and they give me their names and I just boot them from the group. So there is some admin responsibility that you do have to take care of. but it's not very hard. And I spend maybe an hour a month really monitoring each of the groups. So it's not even that much. And for the return I get, being able to put anything I want to in there, right? Anything I want to. So my group, my rules, my stuff. So that's the cool thing. And so I let her rip and let people put all kinds of neat stuff up there. And then when it's my turn, I'll put something about Builderall. And I do that maybe once every couple of months. Okay, Tyree?
Yes, another question. Now, I know that participating in groups, answering questions and things like that creates, giving value. I know that it's going to draw attention to who you are, and because of that, people may go to your profile to find out more about you. Now, my question is, when creating the groups, I know it's going to show who, how many groups you may be a member of, but in your profile, would you mention the groups that you are an administrator of? If so, how many would you mention?
You can if you want to, but I haven't done that.
Okay.
My profile, I'm kind of funny about my profile. I do advertise Builderall on it occasionally, so it's not like I don't. But my profile is not really a place that I want to do business. So I'm going to share that I do Builderall, but I'm also going to share that I went out for ice cream the other day. And I'm also going to share that I went to Universal Studios and walked all day and walked like 6.8 miles. So what you get when you go to my profile is actually me, my personality, my likes, my dislikes. You're getting me. I have tons of Facebook pages, tons of Facebook groups. So if they're in one of those, they're getting the business side of me. And then if they go to my profile, they're getting the personal side of me. And I think what they'll find is the business and the personal is pretty close to the same.
Okay, I appreciate that, because I understand Facebook marketing, but it's constantly changing. So that means that the type of activity is changing constantly. And so I want to redo my profile, and I was trying in the About Me section, I was trying to critique that to make it fit what's going on now. And this is helping me not overdo it, but not underdo it.
Right. And I think that's the exact thing, is somewhere in the middle. There's gurus that'll tell you, you should have Builderall plastered all over your personal profile. But I disagree, because that's my place for me personally. Builderall is not 100% of my life. So I get a personal profile where I can talk about my dog and my cat, and how my cat actually showed up on one of my live webinars licking his butt, right? So I can talk about that kind of stuff, because those are personal things that are about Shelly. So if you go to my business stuff, I may not necessarily be talking about my cat that was licking his butt on one of my videos, right? I may be talking about Builderall and being semi-serious, all that kind of stuff. But if they go to my profile, they'll actually see that I'm actually really funny. So I think it's okay to do somewhere in the middle, Tyree. I've always bucked that idea that Builderall had to be everywhere on my personal profile. It's there. You'll find it. You'll find posts about Builderall, but not a lot of them, because this is where my family and my friends and all that go. And they already know I'm in Builderall. If they want in, they can get in. They know how to find me. But what they really want to know is how I'm doing and how my family is doing. So that's the personal side. That's why it's a personal profile. So I do it sometimes, but not all the time. But then I've got a bazillion business pages, a bazillion business groups, and I play in those all day long, and I can do whatever I want in those. And then if they happen to follow my personal profile, they may find some stuff on Builderall, but they're going to find a lot more stuff about me. And hopefully I will resonate with them somehow. They'll find out that there's a no like and trust factor. Wow, I really want to get to know this person, because here's their personal profile. They're not 100,000% about business only, and they actually have a life too, right? So that's my take on it. It's not the normal take. I think most gurus right now are teaching you that you should have everything about Builderall on your Facebook profile, but I just don't agree with that.
I'll agree, because one of the things I was considering doing, maybe once a day or once every other day, show what I'm doing, because see, people do make posts about what they're doing in their job or how they feel about their job or things like that. So I feel that same way about what I do as far as business, but I didn't really want to put a lot of it on my profile. Maybe one post every other day, let them know I'm having fun or this is what I do. But again, changing the way things was done is what I'm doing. And I wanted to make sure that I'm in the right mindset of how I want to present me. Is people like you, or people know you before they know your business. And I've come to understand that. So I want to be able to be in the right guideline of what would be attractive to the traffic on Facebook versus the traffic that I want to be attracted to.
Right. That's right. You got it. I think you're right there in that right headspace. The thing is, guys, that you don't have to go with what Shelly says. If there's another guru out there that says, blanket your profile with Builderall, and that's what makes you comfortable, then you can absolutely do that. It really depends on where you're at and what you want to accomplish. And my biggest thing is I don't want team members that are in and out and in and out and in and out. I want team members on my team in Builderall that are in there. I know them. We're getting to know each other, and they're going to stay. And I just don't have that many that quit. And I think it's because I have my personal stuff along with the business stuff. They're not necessarily separate. And so I can be that way I can be the real Shelly Turner and not be this business person when I'm dealing with my business people, and then a different person when I'm, doing my personal stuff. A perfect example is when we went traveling to Paris. I had so much fun in Paris, and I did so many videos that I put on my personal profile that were from Paris, right? It was like, oh my gosh, I'm at the Eiffel Tower. Thank you, Builderall. Oh my gosh, the reason I'm here is because of Builderall. If you're not in Builderall, get in Builderall, right? So I was mixing the business with the personal, but it was genuine. It was not like forced or, all right, today I'm going to do a Builderall video in my personal profile. It's just, oh my God, I'm having fun in France, in Paris, and oh my gosh, I'm here because of Builderall. This is insane, right? So you guys, I think that for me, the more natural you can be in all of this process, the better. Because I think it builds a stronger team. It builds a team that sticks with you longer. And you may not build as fast as everybody else, but you're kind of that tortoise and the hare, where the hare runs so hard and so long that he finally gets tired and sleeps. And then the tortoise just kind of passes him up. Right?
Well, I like what you're saying because, see, for me, the way I started viewing when Facebook first came out is different now as it was then. And the way I look at it is similar to like my profile is my home. Mm-hmm. My pages of my groups are my office on Facebook. So when I had a job, when I left work, I left that group, I left that page, I left that building at that place. When I came home, that was me as a person. So on my profile page, that's me as a person. That's my home where they get to see me. Occasionally, every now and then, I may mention something about what I do. I'm glad to be home from work, but then that's as far as I go. And when I'm at work, that's when I'm on my page or either on the groups that I have. That's when I'll mention those things, and then I'll mention at the end of the day, I'm going to go back to my profile. Mm-hmm. But on my profile, as you're saying, and I'm glad you're sharing this because I'm still right there.
Yeah.
So it's and like I said, I use my profile like I'm at home, and that's all they're gonna see, my personal stuff. I hadn't been able to market on Facebook in a while because I was taking care of some personal things. I've stayed in contact with what's going on, but to be amongst the best is one of the things that I desire to do. Desire to be, and learning, staying and connected with you and a few others, that's creating an environment that I need to be in, to be connected to do things the right way. Facebook is changing. The things that's being done on Facebook and on the internet is changing, and I come to really grasp the fact, Shelly, that we Builderall is so young. We are like the as you said in the past, we're like the forerunners. We're like the leaders that people are going to be seeing.
That's right.
So, and this is really taking off. And in reality, for me, here in Houston, Facebook is advertising on TV, and there's word out that they may even try to start their own public television.
Oh, that's really wow, wowzers, right? Well,
Yeah.
I would like you to tell me, because you guys have seen me business-wise, and some of you may have gone to my personal profile. So do you think less of me when you go to my personal profile and you don't see Builderall all over it?
I think it's important to keep it all separate, because I think if people only see about what your business, where you're promoting it, eventually they're not going to go to your profile page or your business page or anything. It's important to keep it separate so that they know when they go to your profile page, they're going to get to know you more as opposed to what you do for your business. Because whether you're working at home or whether you have your own business where it's a brick and mortar store, it should be separate.
I agree with you to a point. I do think there needs to be crossover though. So it's okay on your personal profile to post some things about Builderall or whatever thing that you're working in, right? So if you were excited about something, like I'm thrilled about this magazine app. I am thrilled about this video tag thing and creating like a scavenger hunt with it. I'm building a website right now where I'm doing a scavenger hunt type thing with a video tag application. And that's something that I would go into my personal profile and I'd go, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm creating like the coolest website on Builderall. I can't wait till I'm done and I get to share it with you, right? Because I'm excited about it. This is something I'm personally excited about. So it'd be okay to put it on my Facebook profile because my family would love to see that. My dad would crack up. It's just like when I was doing my books and I wrote my first cookbook and I got it published. And we actually went into a restaurant called Builderall, which we eat at downstairs, but we never eat at upstairs. So we made it a tradition now that every time I publish a new book, I go upstairs and we actually eat out on the balcony. We have a drink and some appetizers on the upstairs balcony. And that's the new tradition. So the first time I did that, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, my first book is published. I'm so excited. And we're here at Builderall and blah, blah, blah. I did the whole thing. And my dad, all he could do was crack up because I'm like the world's worst cook. And I was publishing a cookbook. He could not believe it. So for business side, I got my business stuff in there. For personal side, I got my personal stuff in there. And it was all done on my profile. So there is going to be some crossover, and it is absolutely okay for the crossover if it's natural, right? Not forced. You're not going to be thinking, all right, today I'm going to do 4.5 posts on my personal profile about business, all right? If it's natural, if it feels right, if it fits with what you're doing, if you think that it's okay, then you post it. Same way on the business side. If you've got something personal, but you want to share it in the business side because, again, it's all about know, like, and trust, then if you feel good about it and you want to post it, then you post it, right? Crystal?
Well, it's like when I go in.
Oh, hold on, Davida. Davida, let me get Crystal real quick and then I'll get you, okay?
Okay.
I was going to say too, going along with what Shelly's saying, a lot of times in the corporate world, because I know I've worked for hotels and fast food and all that, they say, leave your personal life out the door, but you're starting your own business. You're doing your own thing. So you kind of do have to, you have to have likability, relatability, and you have to, it's kind of, you have to intermesh it.
Exactly.
For anything to work.
Yeah, you're so right, Crystal, because you're trying to, I don't use this phrase often, but you're trying to find your tribe, right? And your tribe has to resonate with you. So part of that finding your tribe is they have to know you. So there's going to be bleed between the personal and the business side. But that doesn't mean that all business is going to be only business and all profile is going to be only profile. That means we're going to have some crossover. And because of that, you're going to start building that know, like, and trust, because they're going to be able to find you. They're going to see your real personality. They're going to relate to you. They're going to resonate with you. I love the fact that I've got people that are in Builderall that jump over to my personal profile to find out more about me. I love that. If I only had it geared towards business, they really wouldn't know the real Shelly. You guys know the real Shelly. There's no doubt about it. And Anita's met me personally. I'm actually no different on video than I am in person, right, Anita? In fact, I think I'm a lot louder. In fact, we were at the mansion and Alvaro came downstairs one time and he goes, "Oh my God, Shelly, I could hear you like all the way upstairs."
That's true.
So I'm no different. And I love that fact. You either like me or you don't, but it's based on real information from everything that I have out there. It's not a picture of me that I'm trying to create, right? It's the actual me. So if you don't like me, it's really you don't like me because everything's out there about me. If you like me, it's really that you like me because everything's out there about me. So to me, that's the coolest part is I'm not making fake friends and fake this and fake that. Everybody's the real me. So that's why I keep trying to tell you, you can have your personal profile, your business profile, and let them bleed over across each other. It's okay as long as you're the one that feels comfortable doing it and it's your authentic self when you're doing it. Does that make sense?
What sort of way should we name our business profile? I mean, I'm a bit confused at the moment. I'm trying to do a YouTube channel and a this and a that, and I'm thinking, so what do I put where? And so
I think that's the $50 million question. I think that's a really good question. I've got like such a combination of things going on because I do so many things. I've got my Delta Pearls business. I've got my Appreneur Pro business. I've got iCardinal Apps business. I've got the Builderall Master Training part of what I do for Builderall. So I'm kind of across the board, and I don't have one thing that I do that's consistent that I focus on only. So that would be a good question for you guys. I think that once you start diving in, if you're focusing on Builderall only, which I wish I had this 5 years so I could actually have focused on Builderall only, because I would be like a bazillionaire. But if I had that choice, I would definitely across the board be something like the Laptop Diva across the board, and then be branding myself inside Builderall as the Laptop Diva. And I'd have a Laptop Diva page. I'd have a Laptop Diva group. I'd have a Laptop Diva YouTube channel. I'd have a Laptop Diva Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat. So across the board, I'm branding myself as the Laptop Diva. Yeah. So find out what the thing is that you want to be, and that's hard, right? Because you're going to change your mind 52 times. But then once you kind of settle on something, across the board, be that. Because with Builderall, across the board, I'm the Builderall Diva.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Davida?
Yeah. What I was starting to say was, I go on Quora and I answer questions, and then I share it on Facebook, so it goes on my profile page.
Mm-hmm.
So it is crossover. Because I'm at least, but it's just giving them information of things that I answer so that I get to be known as an expert on those topics. And like my thing has always been career coaching and disability issues, and those kind of be what my fan pages are, my fan and my business and my groups are about.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's great. Fabulous. Yeah, so you guys, I think you're getting the picture. Do you guys have any questions about what we talked about today as far as pages, groups, creating your own pages, creating your own groups, and then keeping engagement going inside those pages and groups?
Shelly, can you briefly go over the automation that Builderall has kind of glance over it really quick that we can leverage into those Facebook group and auto posting.
Yes, absolutely. That was absolutely the next thing I was going to show. So I'm so glad you jumped in at that. So let's go ahead and share, and we'll take a look at that Facebook auto post, which is another tremendously awesome tool. So right here, I've got my auto post, and oh, look, I just earned $47.65. Yummy. So I'm going to auto post and go enter. And so this is the auto post tool. And this is what allows me to schedule posts to go into my social media networks, specifically to Facebook. So I'm going to go to account manager. And I think they must have redone this because I don't have any accounts showing. Maybe I'm in the wrong account. I have no idea. So I'm going to add an account, and it's going to be a Facebook account. They were talking about adding Instagram here, but they haven't done that yet. So I'm going to click add. I'm going to log in with Facebook. And I'm going to continue as Shelly Turner. And here's all my pages. I'm going to scroll through. I've got a bazillion pages. That's just my pages. But I'll just start with BizTech Mastery for now. I'll check mark that one, and then click next. And this tool allows Builderall to manage my page and publish as a BizTech Mastery. So I'm going to click done. And now it's setting up so that I have that connection, that link to Facebook for BizTech Mastery. And I'll click OK. So now I've got this linked. And here's why the token expires. I'm going to refresh the token. Yay, and refresh the token. And we'll pretend like all that's working correctly. But I'll go into the BizTech Mastery. And the next thing I do is schedule. And from here, I actually can schedule my posts. So today is the 17th. If I want to post something for the 18th, I just double click. And here's the post. I can name this post if I want to. It's posting to, well, it's not listing the BizTech Mastery, but we'll pretend like that's working. I choose the time that I want it to post, and then I choose the post text. And I can also do fully qualified domain names. That means if I put a domain name in there, I need to have the whole part of it. So http:// dot and then the domain. That's really important because that'll make it clickable. And then I can actually add an image or a video. And if I click that, it lets me choose a file. And I can add my image or add my video. Remember, the video can only be up to 1 GB large, but that's pretty large. And then once I do that, I just click add rule, and it adds that rule for that day. There's also pre-made content. So if you go to pre-made rules, there's actually the import right here. So here's 30 days of posts. And then there's actually 30 days in different languages as well. So I can do Portuguese, or I can do whatever this is, or whatever this is, Italian. But I definitely want to do just English. So I click the 30-day rule. It pulls all of them in. And then I can actually import that into my schedule. And it will actually set that up so that all 30 of those days are scheduled to go. And those are pre-made posts made by Builderall. You do have to go in and edit each one of them because you have to put your own Builderall link in because they're not in there. So you still have to do a little bit of editing, but it's not a huge amount. But once they're added, then they'll go on the days that they're added. So it's an absolutely fabulous program to use. It's really easy to use. And you can do the text post and the image post and the video post. So that's a great tool to get stuff scheduled. If there's any problems, you click the problem area. And if it had any problems posting, it will tell you why. And that's the place to go, that if you don't see your posts going, like if you set one up for every single day and they didn't go out automatically, check this area and it will tell you why it didn't go. Most of the time it's because it's not synchronized, and you just have to resynchronize the group and everything's okay. All right. For me, the account manager, these right here, I'm just going to unlink and then I'll have to re-add them like that. There we go. So there's the Facebook account, and we'll import BizTech Mastery. And now I could actually work on scheduling for BizTech Mastery. So I can click schedule and start scheduling my post, or I can go in and do some pre-made rules and pull in the 30 days of pre-made rules. Okay? Everybody got it? Easy peasy? Crystal?
Okay, so when you do that, does that work with your the time zone that you're in? Because I know so I was playing around with it and it didn't like post up like it was supposed to, and I'm not sure if they were still working on it when I did it. But,
Good question. I can't remember. Let me take a look real quick. Double click. And I honestly I can't remember for sure what time. It has to work off of their time, because I don't remember setting anything up as far as your own time on your dashboard. So whatever their time is. So that's a really good question. And let me write that down in my parking lot so I can ask the developers, because I think I've had that question before and didn't get a good answer.
because I know sometimes they work off of like, I guess, Greenwich time, I guess universal time, whatever. So it's just, I guess, good to know. That way I'm not posting something and then it gets posted like in London at that time, but then here it's like, you know, 7 hours behind. So
That's a really good question. So I will definitely ask that question. And then Crystal, if you would, just chase me down until I get you an answer, okay?
Okay.
All right. Any other questions about the Facebook auto poster? That's a cool one, right? Think about it. You can sit down and do an entire month of posts in a couple of hours. And it's very, very easy to do. It's not stressful. You can be binge watching Game of Thrones while you're putting up.
Especially when you have a VA that makes all your images.
That's exactly it. You got it. So yeah, work on those VAs because they'll help you a lot. But it's a really, really easy tool to use. Tyree?
Yes, with that tool, it was a big benefit for me because when I knew that I was not going to be able to be personally on Facebook, I was able to pre-schedule through that tool. And the best part for me is that other tools that I bought, this was more consistent than other tools that I bought. But when I got access to this tool, I was able to eliminate the cost of the other ones, or either the ones that I had bought that I own. I didn't have to use those anymore. And the big benefit for me, I didn't have to remember different passwords to get access. Yeah,
that's true.
Everything is right here on this platform. And again, it makes a difference. And the other big benefit for me, Shelly, is that when I had an issue or when I was trying to really learn how to use this tool, or if I didn't understand the video, the big benefit for me versus other tools is that support answered me back with answers within 24 hours. I didn't get that with everything else. So to be able to have this tool and use it and for it to be effective, it was a big plus for me because I couldn't be online for a whole month. This really made a difference for me.
Right, absolutely. I agree 100% with everything you said. And this tool it can be a little bit cantankerous if you change your Facebook password. Have any of you guys ever gotten a message from Facebook that said you've been hacked, you need to change your password, blah, blah, blah. When you do that, it's not connected anymore. So the Facebook auto post and the Facebook auto answer is no longer connected. So you have to reconnect it to be able to make your messages go out again. Okay, so just remember that if you ever have to reset your Facebook password, you're going to have to go back into Builderall to those two things and actually reset them with your new password. Okay? It's easy.
Go ahead.
No, all I said was it's easy though. So if you have that change, it's literally just what I did a minute ago. I just click through and just reconnect it, and then everything I had in place will go out.
Okay. Well, I do have a question as far as tools like auto posting tools. I heard you mention that they may add Instagram to this, and I know Facebook owns Instagram, and we do have an Instagram tool responding to. And I'm gonna start getting more into using that, understanding that. But the other thing I want to know, do you know if they're gonna add other social media platform auto posting tools?
Oh, I'm sure they will. They've been talking quite a while about adding Instagram to the Facebook auto post, but they haven't done it yet. So I'm expecting that one. And who knows, at some point we may have something like Hootsuite where you can do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you know, all those things like Hootsuite does. So I don't put it past Builderall that we wake up one day on a miraculous Monday morning and Eric tells us, congratulations, you now have everything Hootsuite does, right?
Well, I would love that because I had a tool that no longer works. It was a tool that operated like Hootsuite, Sociocast. It doesn't work anymore. Support doesn't answer. But my point is, when I had that tool, I was able to do everything at a much lesser cost, and I still attend Hootsuite webinars and things like that for Hootsuite University, just in case Builderall comes out with it. I want to be ready because Builderall has, man, when I tell you Builderall is in a universe of its own. It's like, woohoo! Yes.
That right.
So Shelly, sorry.
Go ahead, Charles, and then I'll get David.
Yeah. So, and hopefully it doesn't deviate from that exciting topic here, but it's in reference to the group. Two questions. The auto post allows you to post in your own pages.
Yes.
In other groups as well, or you're only your group?
Only pages. The auto answer will only work in pages, and the auto post will only work in pages. Okay,
great. The other question I have is really kind of like your take on I know there's quite a plethora of tools with Builderall, and when you try to have an engagement within a group, you tend to go organically, or you can go a little bit more aggressive. So in terms of aggressive, I meant by, what do you think about the leveraging that magazine editor within the group and making an impact from the get-go? Just kind of get your take on it a little bit.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like I with you guys. I think it was with you guys. I joined the dog lovers group, right? Was that with you guys the other day? Yeah. Well, I've been posting consistently in there. I've already posted a couple of pictures of my dog and commented on a bunch of pictures of other dogs. And so I'm sure my name is starting to be up there. At some point, I may actually throw together just a cover of a magazine that could be about dogs. And I might say something like, hey, you guys, I'm working on creating my own dog magazine. What do you think about the cover? And just get their input. And you know somebody in there is going to say, oh my gosh, how did you make that? Right? And it will only take me 15 minutes maybe with the magazine app to create a really good looking, nice cover of a magazine. And if I share that with them, that's an open door for them to ask me, wow, how'd you do that? I'd like to do a magazine app like that. So those are the types of things that you think about and you share with those groups. And it's amazing what the response you'll get. Okay. And I don't think of that as like aggressive. Aggressive would be like, I'm in Builderall. You're stupid if you don't get into Builderall. And there's people that actually post like that. There's no kidding. There's people that post like that. I've never responded to those kind of posts because I don't want anybody to directly or indirectly call me stupid. So those don't resonate with me. But man, if I saw somebody post a cover of a magazine that they're working on creating, and I've got an idea for 52 magazines that I want to create, the first question I'm going to ask is, oh my gosh, where did you build that at? Right? Yeah. So that's I think that's a good way to go at it. Absolutely. David.
Shelley, thanks a million for all your endeavor, and thanks to everybody for their input, by the way. It's very, very rewarding. You mentioned something there on the other post, and you're limited to 1 gigabit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Of be it video or be it an image, right? You know the way a lot of videos are really big.
Yeah.
Right. I have a tool. If you don't mind, I'll share it.
Oh, please
no,
do.
It's free, but there is a paid up now. It's not. I'm not putting in. I'm not an affiliate or anything for it. But once you sign up, you can put in upload your video to it, and it'll download and you won't even have a watermark. Now, if you don't sign up, you will have a watermark, okay? And it brought a 37 megabit down to 5.
Wow.
That's
goodness.
significant.
Yeah.
It's significant.
There's
right?
there's another one out there too, David, but I can't think of the name of it right now. It's like Clip It or Trim It or something like that.
Handbrake?
Handbrake. Oh my gosh, that's it. Handbrake.
Yeah, Handbrake, I find that awfully complicated.
It is a little complicated, but
yeah.
it's another one that's effective in reducing the size of it.
Yeah, like that one, you just upload the video, press a button, boom, and it's done for you.
So you've got that one, Capwing, and you've got Handbrake. So check out those.
Yeah, I have Handbrake, but I find that one. Hey, it's like everybody finds tools and they like using the tools, right?
That's right.
It's whatever you're used to, and there are so many out there that, gosh, we can't. Like I found a couple of communication tools now as well that I'm working on, and they're amazing, but it's not for everybody, you know.
Crystal asked, is there a place that you can get videos that you can use? There are, I think Builderall has on their promotional materials page. If you go to the dashboard and you go down to promotional materials, I think at the very bottom they might have some videos, a couple of them, and you can take those videos and chop them up if you want to make them shorter. But honestly, the best videos are going to be you. No doubt about it. The best videos are going to be you.
Without a doubt.
So
and also on YouTube as well.
Video. Yeah, shoot a fast video that, hey, you guys, I'm so excited about this. Check out this post up above or below, wherever it is, and check it out because it's awesome information, and I'm super excited about sharing it. And that way, they see you, they hear you, they get to look at your eyeballs. You're creating that know, like, and trust by doing that. And the more times you can do that, the better. And let me tell you something. I just put out a message. I think it was last night. My days, y'all, they run in together. But I got a bunch of women of Builderall together, the women leaders of Builderall, and I asked them if they'd do a 10-second video for me. And their job was to say, I love Builderall because, and then in 10 seconds, tell me why. These are such good videos. They are like so good. And those videos are going to have so much impact. And so you're thinking 10 seconds, really? Really, they're so good. So don't underestimate just a short, quick video to introduce a post or talk, just a teeny tiny bit about the post that you're going to put with it. It will be very powerful. And again, you're creating that know, like, and trust because they're seeing your face. They're seeing your facial expressions. They're seeing your eyeballs. They trust you a lot more when they see you like that. So it's only going to be to your benefit. Even if you hate doing it, it's still only going to be to your benefit if you can throw in some videos that are you and not necessarily a canned video from somewhere. Okay. And I love shooting those videos. Those are fun for me. All right. Any other questions or comments, you guys? All right, well, we've been together about 2 hours, and you guys have been absolutely fabulous. So let me tell you what your homework is. Your homework for tonight is I want you to join 10 more pages and 10 more groups. And I want you to organize them again inside of your folders that we created. And I also want you, as soon as you get out of pending, subscribed, and approved, I want you to jump into those approved groups. And the first thing you do is add them to one of your days. So add them to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And then I want you to start going into that group and start engaging. All right. So find some comments that you like and say, click the like button and then say, wow, I really like the way you phrased that. That was fabulous. Or I agree. That's a great idea or something like that. Be present and part of those groups and start participating, and you're going to see, honestly, that your engagement will start to go up, and that is nothing but good stuff for you, okay? Everybody got it? 10 pages, like and engage. 10 groups, join. So by the time you're done, you should have 10 from, actually 5 from the previous day, 10 from yesterday, 10 from today. So by tomorrow, you should get some approvals and you can start really jumping in there and engaging with them. And again, this is not an all-day thing. You're not going to engage all day. You're going to engage the first part of your day for about an hour. So every morning you do two things. You do happy birthdays and you do engaging in your groups. Those are the two things that you do. And you don't spend more than an hour doing that. Okay? Hello. He is adorable, Crystal. Oh my gosh. He's a cutie. He's like, I'm not cute. Yes, you are, dude. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Don't forget your homework. I'm going to ask you about your homework tomorrow. And thank you so much again for being so great. You guys are so awesome. You make my job like really, really easy. So I will see you guys all around the internet. Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye. Take care.
You too.
Have a good